Friday, live at 5, and EVP Network, Rumble X, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe to all that good stuff. Man, we're getting ripped off. Billions spent on new office buildings for the scoundrels in Sacramento after they just bought another office building 3 years ago. Oh, we have to walk too far. We get into that. We have just Newsom, reports are Newsom was sucking tequila, drinking margaritas while the LA fires in SoCal burnt earlier this year. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. There's a big multi-fatal crash on the 10 and 15 in Fontana. Plus, lots of other stuff. But the main story, lead story of the day, chase suspect hit, killed by a passing car after jumping out of the van on the 110 freeway in SoCal. Now, again, just a warning, we're going to show you the video. This was caught on CBS 2 of him. It was a police pursuit. He pulls over on the divider, jumps out of the van, jumps over the K-rail, the center divider, then gets hit by a car. So we're going to play, as we say, the raw video. So if you don't want to see it, tune out for about 30 seconds. But here's the KCBS report as it was live yesterday on SkyCal 9.
What happened?
Getting out of the car?
Slamming on the brakes, trying to get out.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh my! Oh no!
Stay wide. He got hit.
Okay, we're going to keep our wide
my
shot.
God.
We just saw the who was being pursued get out of their car and actually get hit by another speeding car. I mean, it was just the other
Almost
side of the freeway.
instantaneous.
The 110 freeway one, as Desmond was just talking about, it's very curvy.
It's narrow.
It's very narrow, and you just have that K-rail really dividing the two sides. And as soon as, the car didn't even come to a stop yet, and he immediately got out of the window, not even the door. The door was.
That was crazy. That was a crazy scene. Again, and it is. The harbor, the 110 is down there in downtown. That's pretty close, about 4 or 5 miles from the ocean, runs parallel to it. Old freeway, it is narrow. And like I say, there's a runoff lane and then a K-rail on the other side. And he kind of pulled up there, stopped. Basically, and the van was still running, still moving, and he jumps over the K-rail. He barely got out of the van, jumps over the K-rail. On the other side, looks like he stumbles or something, and then somebody coming the other way just hit him dead center. I think another car did hit him again, too, but that was caught live on CBS 2 by KCAL 9. They're the same company. But it was absolutely tragic scene. But in this case, this is the price you pay for running from the cops. Gavin Newsom nursed the bottle of tequila at home while LA burned and Trump law blame everything was collapsing. This is in the New York Post. This is about right. This is what Gavin Newsom thinks of you in California. While your home burns and your community is wiped out, your kid's school is gone, he's sucking up a bottle of tequila thinking, oh, happy days are here again. What an arrogant SOB. And you're going to reward this guy? We'll talk about no kings. We'll get into this here in a bit. This one's absolutely crazy. California lawmakers want to say how much their new office building will cost. Brand new. They built new offices 3 years ago. Brand new. Now they're building Billions, won't say what the cost is. And you'll never get, well, you might guess why. They're building new offices. Just 3 years later after they got their latest new offices. What? Boy, I better stop because if I start, holy cow. Placentia High, Placentia Yorba Linda School District. Excuse me. Valencia High. Get it straight here. Was going to forfeit. They're in the CIF finals against Harupa Valley on the volleyball team. They were going to forfeit, or they were talking about forfeiting the game because of A.B. Hernandez, the boy male who's on Harupa Valley's girls team. According to a board member at Placentia Yorba Linda, CIF said they will, if Valencia High doesn't play Harupa Valley High, they will be punished next year. Kid you not. It's from Leandra Blade. She's a board member at Placentia Yorba Linda. Oh, man. You don't think we're in trouble as a society? Lay's rebrands because customers apparently didn't know their chips were made with real potatoes. Oh, my land. The intelligence of Americans is going down and down and down at an exponential rate. And we all know probably a lot of the reasons why, but it's not by accident. By no means is this accidental. In Redlands, woman finds teen recording her in a bathroom, she said, and cops reported. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to stand it all. Liz Barcelona writes, Newsom's Proposition 50 will grow the Hamas caucus in Washington. Can't wait to get to that story. On top of Newsom sucking down tequila, while California burnt to the ground, or Southern California did, Altadena, Pacific Palisades in particular, the other part of Newsom's California babies are living in vagrant encampments in some of the worst squalor and just absolute horrid conditions. And Governor Newsom, Gavin Newsom, King Newsom, applauds and just loves every minute of it. He spent over $100 billion of your dollars making sure kids live in squalor and the worst conditions imaginable. It's absolutely criminal. Criminal. What's going on? Mark Mitchell, pollster from Rasmussen, reports 67% support draining the swamp. Good. Also, 67% support ending corporate welfare. Also good. Donald Trump, please pick up the phone. Rand Paul and Tom Massey are on the other end. As Mark Mitchell says, hey, GOP, get with the program. MAGA wants both done. They don't want to be funding illegals. They don't want to be funding corporate welfare. They don't want to be funding foreign governments or foreign lands. None of it. Get the frick rid of it. As in now. Oh, Democrats never, ever, ever called Trump a Hitler. Ever, they claim. And then when it's refuted, all they can do is just start gaslighting and stuttering and stammering and waving and screaming. Shows how intellectually bankrupt they are. We'll get to that here in a bit, and much, much more on this faster. Well, no, that's tomorrow. No, that's the end of it. Hell, I'm already trying to get to the end of the week. On this terrifically tumultuous Tuesday, where we the people will eventually rule. Yes, we will. Hopefully, one of the things, and we've got 2 weeks from today to turn it around. And if we don't, we are going to have a king. His name is Newsom. Get out the vote. Vote no on Prop 50. Stop letting this yo-yo manipulate you. It is completely 1,000% false, a lie. You're not going to stick it to Trump. Texas is under court order from a case brought by the Biden administration. U.S. Attorney General at the time, Merrick Garland, against Texas. They had to redistrict or they were going to go to jail. Now, voting no, it won't eliminate. Don't say it will eliminate. It will cripple. It will put a big dent in Newsom's bid to become president, whether it be in 28 or 32. But you can't let this yo-yo win. So, and I wondered why he didn't quit when Lady Feinstein passed away and appointed himself as senator. But since Kamala bailed out and the Katie Porter meltdown, Nancy and the crew are trying to get Alex Padilla, our current U.S. senator, which is a complete putz. Go look that up. P-U-T-Z. Probably got to be over the age of 50 to even have heard that. But now they're going to look for the announcement coming soon. If you see this, then this is going to trigger something else. You see Alex Padilla officially move into the governor's race, and he's got no deal. His Senate seat's not up till 28. So he's got a free shot, even if he loses. There's no skin off his nose. He's still going to be a U.S. senator, unfortunately, from California. The stronger rumor going around now is the deal's already been cut. Establishment's going to back Alex Padilla for governor. He gets elected. Well, that's going to open up the Senate seat. Alex Padilla, as governor, can appoint, like Newsom did the last time, avoided somebody from Maryland, because she actually is a woman, and she's black. Well, kind of. So if you see Alex Padilla and you see all the gang of criminals line up behind him, led by Team Pelosi, you know the fix is in. Because it would make much more sense. Or Newsom would be in a stronger position running in 28 if he's a sitting senator from California. He will definitely, he will raise more money because more people are going to want to buy him off, buy his vote in the Senate for whatever stuff. And that goes back to Mitchell's deal. They don't want no corporate welfare. They want the swamp drained. They want the illegals out. But Newsom would have a much better platform to run from as a sitting senator from California than the former two-time governor of the failed state under his regime of California. So look for that little vignette, but this right here would go a long way to doing that. But I really do. I mean, if it's Katie Porter versus Alex Padilla, if we could get Steve Hilton, Chad Bianco, even Rick Caruso, which I'm no big fan of Caruso. He's a never Trumper. I'm not a big fan of Caruso, but I'm not going to say that he would be. I would roll the dice. He would be much better than Newsom. I think the bridge candidate, I really wish he'd run, is San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan. He's even on Newsom's ass. Hey, why aren't you funding Prop 36? Look at all the gloom, despair, and agony on me. Not only the crime, but the vagrants, the high cost of everything. Now, I mean, I'm going to say I probably agree with Matt Mahan 50% of the time. That's a darn sight better than what we've got in a long time. And I disagree with Newsom a negative 111% of the time. And if you got to have a Democrat, I would rather it be Caruso. I think even better choice would be Matt Mahan or somebody like that that's at least got some sensibilities to them. Now, I'm not saying, well, let's say if it was Alex Padilla versus Rick Caruso. I'm gonna roll the dice with Caruso. At least at least he's intelligent. If it's Alex Padilla versus Matt Mahan, hands down Matt Mahan or Kate. I really hope they nominate Katie Porter. Katie Porter, and I didn't think this before Kamala. She might be as beatable as Kamala would be. I mean, if we got a chance to get a center right freedom and liberty type candidate in, say Hilton, a Chad Bianco, or somebody comes in right at the end, that looks like pretty much our two choices are going to be if you're going to go center right in California. If you got a glimmer of hope, if you got a path to victory, it's there with Katie Porter. People hate her. Actually, I think they may hate her more than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is just stupid. I mean, she would be lucky if she hits over 75 on the IQ test. She has the bitchy attitude, but not her. People that work around Kamala Harris, you have to say she's a ding dong, and she is a little bit difficult to work for. Most of her staff was fired. But she doesn't rise to the Katie Porter hate amongst her own people. Now, I think Katie's a little more intelligent than Kamala. I wouldn't say Katie's a 75 IQ like Kamala. I'm not saying she's a brain surgeon either. She has an average amount of intelligence. I mean, she's a total off the deep end psycho chick. And my ass don't stink attitude to the max. Maybe, well, probably even more than Kamala. But we do have these are some of the things, these are some of the positives that we got to look for. But as you see, we've got 2 weeks to get out the vote. We're tracking Republican versus Democrat turnout is even. Unacceptable. We have to turn out Republicans, which is usually center right, because in Indies declined to states, libertarians hardly, they're like 2/3 of their turnout. The good news is we just over 2 weeks in with 2 weeks to go. We just crossed over 10%. I think it's 11% today. In total voter mail-in on that. So we can still do this. But we're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to set aside your fear of talking politics to family members and friends, and you don't even really have to tell them. Just say, fill out your ballot, mark no, sign it, and we will take it in for you. Or make sure you put it in the mail. They say in Chi-Town and Riverside County, you vote early and vote often. We don't encourage anybody to break the law. That's just a satire. But we have a unique opportunity. Hey, last March, we almost beat the bond. They had to crook it in Alameda County. Which you look, Alameda County's way down 7%. They always hold the vote in Alameda County, which is Oakland. That's San Francisco County, Contra Costa. Alameda is Oakland. They always hold Oakland and LA are always the last to report. So if they need to find some votes, they will come from LA and Oakland, Alameda County. But we got to up the turnout. In Riverside, San Bernardino is behind. Riverside is behind. We're not even at the 11% level. We're not even at the statewide average. I think San Bernardino is only 7%. I think Riverside 8%. Got to pick up the pace. Now Orange County's doing it. They're above. They're 15%. Kern, actually, Bakersfield area is doing good. We got to dig deep. Get it done. Turn on Turbo Tuesday, Wicked Wednesday, Thunderous Thursday. We're going to get them faster than you Friday, on the weekends and everything else. We got 2 weeks to get this done. And we better, if we're going to send a signal, if we're going to pick up assembly seats, we got to pick up 7 just to knock down the 2/3 majority in the House Assembly. We got to get 4 in the Senate just to knock down the 2/3 majority, just to get it under 1. That's out of 80 seats in the Assembly and 40 up in the Senate, or 20 up in the Senate. Bigger hill to climb, because you only got 25% of the seats up in the Senate, but you got to hit that at a 58 or better than a 2-to-1 ratio. That's why we need to get behind Ed Delgado, flip Corey Jackson's seat here in Assembly District 61, where I'm at, Moreno Valley. which is basically Moreno Valley, Paris, San Jacinto, about 30% of Hemet, Nuevo, Romaland in that area, in the rural encaves of the Inland Empire. But there's a lot of things, but if we need to start getting victories. We need to start showing we can win. Not come close. We almost did it with the bond in March of 2024. We got to show some victories here somewhere that we can do it. I mean, we did. We flipped Leticia Castillo's seat, Gonzalez down there in the lower desert. We've done it here in the IE. In fact, the only place we did it in the last election. But we need to expand that. We got to hold Leticia Castillo's seat. Clarissa Cervantes and Team Cervantes Perez are going to come hard after that, after we beat Clarissa a little over a year ago. So we're going to, a lot of strategy in here, but we got to put the ground forces in. We got to get voter ID on the ballot. Go sign Carl DeMaio, Reform California. Get the petitions, start getting that so we can get voter ID. Everybody complains, or a lot of people complain, especially center right, oh, stolen election and this and that. Well, we can drastically reduce the voter fraud and the cheating. We get voter ID, basically same day voter. We put it on the ballot. We got to get 1 million plus good signatures, which means we got to have about 1.25 million at least. Go to HJTA, Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. Download, sign, get your friends, family to sign their petition to protect Prop 13. Then once we're doing that, we're going to set up for the local elections. Got 3 council seats in the primary in the city of Riverside here in the IE. And I believe in San Bernardino. Might be 4 in San Bernardino. And then on to November, when we're going to select practically most offices are up: city council, school board, state governor, all the assembly seats, half the Senate, Board of Equalization, all that good stuff. Judges, pay attention to the judges. That's going to be one of my projects, is to get a really good voter guide. And then all these ones people don't pay attention to, like judges, we'll get to, and we'll get recommendations like that so we
You got about 1 minute, Roy.
so we can continue that. We've done pretty good on the judges, except one. We've done pretty good on that out here. Getting our judge candidates in that are going to enforce law and order and public safety. Sean said we'll be joining the Mighty Met KMT here in about a minute or two. Of that, we'll be picking it up on some more the good guy local stuff and that. But the most important thing, no on 50. We got 2 weeks to get
30
this done.
seconds.
We win this, that'll send a shockwave on it. We're even talking about Trump coming out here and doing some no on 50 spots. I hope he does. We need to bump the profile up and counter what they're doing. We'll see. But there's some whispers. Maybe Trump is seeing the light. Hey,
Here we go.
you gotta hoe down around.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky live guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday live at 5:30 on the Mighty Met KMET 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Join your vast video audience, CWFP Network, Rumble X, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type the 9 Newswire on all those areas, you'll find my smiling face. And if you want to catch us anytime, 24/7, 365, anywhere in the world, you can watch the show, tell your friends about it. We got a lot of stuff to do. You go back and check, man, just absolutely amazing scene happened in SoCal last night. Police pursuit, dude in a van. Maybe he's running out of gas or something, I don't know, or a flat tire. He's right up against the K rail on the fast lane side. Van's still moving. He jumps across. He jumps over the K rail. Looks like he might have stumbled onto the other side on the 110 freeway down there in downtown LA. Looks like he stumbles going across right into the fast lane traffic. Somebody hits him dead on. So we've got the Channel 2 footage that showed it live. So if you're squeamish about it, don't look. But it just goes to show what'll happen, possibly, if you're running from the cops. It's not a good thing to do. When they flip the red light on you, you should be pulling over to the side of the road and saying, yes, sir, no, sir. We've had a lot. Newsom, Gavin Newsom, that arrogant SOB. Yes, that's what the New York Post is reporting. He was getting smashed, according to the New York Post, with a bottle of tequila at his home. It isn't clear whether it's the new $9 million mansion out in San Fran or the other one, I think $4 million mansion in Socktown. Sucking down on a bottle of tequila at home while LA burned. And Trump was saying Newsom is to blame. Everything was collapsing. Trump is being proven right again. Again. One of Newsom's friends finked him out on this. When your friends start turning on you or start ratting you out, there may be bigger things to come. We will do that. But we can't wait, even though it's part of the Fox group, which I'm not really red hot on. But the New York Post does some darn good coverage, and they're coming out to LA, I believe, starting January 1st. Lord knows we need some more good investigative reporting going on in California. I think there may be some more to it. But to show you how arrogant our politicians are, the scoundrels in Sacramento built them the old office building, we can't own them in the room. So 4 or 5 years ago, we funded billions of dollars, built them new offices. 3 years ago, they got to occupy them. Now, and the great reporter Ashley Zavala from KCR3 has been following and asking the question because who knows how much this one's costing. They're building a brand new one. After 3 years, the old building's just not good enough. But this is the problem. Why? You've seen Ashley Zavala mostly. We've run it many times. Great report. You've seen her, and we've run the clip. She's chasing down Gavin Newsom. He's walking through that goofball, Robert Rivas, leader of the assembly, Corey Jackson, whomever. She'll run them down because they got to walk. Because the newest offices we built, or the ones they're occupying now that we just got done 3 years ago, are about a block down the road. So everybody's got to go from the assembly somehow by car, but you got to walk through the public do that. So they try to avoid, but Ashley and a couple others up there, the ones that are left, will be able to track them down. You, the public. As they're walking back and forth, they're coming out of the assembly chambers or the conference rooms where they're having subcommittee hearings or whatever. They got to hit the public. So now we're building new offices. They won't tell us the cost. Ashley and the crew have been asking public records requests up the kazoo. Because now they want to do like Congress in D.C., have tunnels going across from the chambers to their offices so they don't have to face you, the public. They don't have to face reporters' questions. This is how bleeping arrogant they are. Here's the KCRA3 latest report from Ashley Zavala. Hopefully, here.
Bears in the dark about their new office building under construction still.
KCRA3 political director Ashley Zavala has been digging into this story for years now, and she joins us with the latest information.
Golston, this project is clearly progressing in front of everyone's eyes to see in downtown Sacramento. But state lawmakers are not prioritizing the need to keep people informed about it. It has been at least 3 years since they provided the last cost estimate of about $1.1 billion. And even then, that figure makes it one of the most expensive buildings in the United States. Here's a look at what the construction looks like so far. The structure looks like it's pretty much set. Glass panels are going up on the facade. All year this year, I've been asking the group of Democratic lawmakers overseeing this project for updates. That group, the Joint Rules Committee, earlier this spring told us they would provide a public update on the project at some point this year. That never happened. Lawmakers wrapped up their work for the year and left Sacramento last month. The chair of the Joint Rules Committee, the leader of it, Assemblymember Blanca Pacheco, would not comment when I asked her about that situation. Since June, I have been requesting contracts, change orders, financial statements, and other documents to get a sense of what costs look like. Some documents show lawmakers are getting monthly updates, but the Joint Rules Committee is not giving us those documents from the most recent years. Here's what a taxpayer advocacy group and the former chairman of the Historic State Capitol Commission had to say.
Before we get to that, look at this Taj Mahal. After we built them, that's why I say as you look up at the top as it goes through all these new office buildings connected to the Capitol, they'll have tunnels and corridors where they can go from the Assembly floor, the Senate floor, or if they're having a committee hearing. If the Public Safety Committee hearing is going, they'll have access where they do not have to face reporters' questions from the public, even say hi to you. This is the biggest middle finger. Yet, I believe, if it's not, it's in the top 3. That our scurrilous California state politicians, Democrats, in the supermajority, no Republicans have supported it. They won't even give the Republicans, who are duly elected officials. They're only updating the Democrats as far as I've heard. Gallagher, Castillo and stuff, Carl DeMaio. They can't get they're asking the same questions as Ash.
You would think that if the project were on budget and on time, they would be bragging about it. But the fact that they have not come forward to describe what the full cost of the project is should be a warning flag to everyone in California, particularly those of us who are taxpayers who have to pay for this.
I'm disappointed to hear that they aren't ready. Certainly they have the information somewhere. We know from information that Channel 3 gathered that the construction manager has been providing monthly cost forecasts to them. It would be interesting to maybe study a timeline of when the cost forecasts rose and when the legislature's leadership was informed of that.
You know, we've been getting burnt on this. to the 9th degree. If they're not, because we are entitled to the records. We the people, Ashley Zavala, Dick Cowman, John Copal of HJTA, which we've had on the show. We got to get John back on. It's not even, it's actually, they are violating the law, but they are so arrogant. They've been getting away with it so long. They don't care. They think they're untouchable. And the reason why we got to beat 50. And then on to 26. Well, here's more from the Ash report.
As for the apparent holdup, Assemblymember Pacheco said in a statement to me that, quote, the project team is analyzing the financial implications resulting from the litigation and related changes in project scope. The litigation she's referencing ended more than a year ago.
Wow. Well, the transparency just doesn't feel like it's really there right
not,
now.
yeah.
So, I mean, water.
Boy, is that the understatement of the freaking year. The no transparency. In fact, they're giving all of us the middle freaking finger. John Copal, Ashley Zavala, you, me, everyone listening, 40 million people, or 39 in California, because we're declining in population now.
Like legislative leaders saying right now, the governor and others.
Yeah, I've reached out to both asking, is this appropriate? Is this really okay? Having this construction unfold in front of everyone's eyes, but not telling taxpayers how much it's costing them. Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas, I should say, his spokesman echoed Pacheco's statement, noting they're still trying to figure it out. Nothing from State Senate Pro Tem.
Oh, they know exactly. They've been getting the reports. Well, maybe they don't know to the penny, but they know to the rounded dollar amount what's going on. Here, lawsuits, this thing is rough with corruption. And I could tell you, been in the contracting biz, contractors knew they could do this because they knew. They knew they could extort money out of the politicians because the whole thing was crooked. This is my opinion of it. I was born and not just yesterday. They knew they could change order and extra and jack the costs up on this thing. On top of, because they knew. How are they, what? The legislature don't want nothing to do with any questions about this because people are going to ask, well, what the hell? We just built you brand new offices 3 years ago. And they're doing it to avoid you, and they're doing it to avoid Ashley. There's no transparency or accountability anywhere with this. Finish up with the Ash report.
Mike McGuire. Governor Gavin Newsom, he is not overseeing this project, but I also posed this question to him as a separate but equal branch of government to the legislature. We're still waiting to hear back from him.
We just want to see the receipts.
That's it.
Where are the
That's
receipts?
it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, we just want to see the receipts. Just give us. Gosh, you can't shut these frickin' ads off. It's absolutely nuts. This couldn't be a bigger finger, middle finger to us in California. It's beyond stunning at times. The old adage, cliche, Houston, we have a problem. Lay's potato chips, 100 years old. Lay's potato chips. Practically everybody in the U.S. over the age of 3 knows what a Lay's potato, or should, has seen and probably eaten a Lay's potato chip. They are rebranding after 100 years Lay's potato chips because customers apparently do not know the chips were made with real potatoes. I thought this was the Babylon Bee. I thought it was The Onion. I thought it was a Saturday Night Live skit or something. This had to be satire comedy. And maybe Chicago 5 is taking a different tact or whatever. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. They're rebranding this. And it says this is the surprising part, but if you've been following this show or looking at what's been happening in our schools and looking at that, like here, 75% of the kids in Moreno Valley Unified School District or Val Verde are not at grade level, K through 12. 50%. Let's not even talk about grade level. 50% of kids nationwide, K through 12, do not have basic reading and math skills and science skills. So it should not be surprising, as the Chicago 5 story says, 42% of people who enjoy Lay's potato chips don't realize they're made with real farm-grown potatoes. I kid you not. It's here in the report. So they're rebranding. What do they got to do? Run a video on the paper bag showing Farmer Ted or the late Larry Miner, the potato king out here in the Hemet Inland Empire area. We were at one time very famous for growing potatoes. Idaho, do we got to go up to? I got to have a video of the miles of acres of russet potatoes being grown. You know, this is what your potato chip comes from. How did we get down to a society? We better fix this. We're getting to a society, 42% of the people that they surveyed that have eaten a Lay's potato chip did not realize they were made with real potatoes. What the hell did they? I would really like to see the survey. What did they think they were made of? Or are they just so mind numb? Has the 3x5 screen completely disseminated their brains, mesmerized them, that they don't care? This is what's very dangerous. That people today, almost a majority, 42% can't state something that's obvious. Potato chip. What's a Lay's potato chip made of? Oh, I don't know. Is it made from moon dust, from Mars? Maybe that's why Elon wants to go up there. Maybe he's going to bring back more and we can have cheaper potato chips. I mean, that's about as crazy. And I'm going to say the word. We are becoming retarded. And we should not be afraid to say the word when it applies correctly. If this continues, we are going to become a retarded society. But again, I'm not surprised when you talk to when you go into the Home Depot and you ask a looks like 20-something-year-old kid with his Home Depot bib on, and you say, "Where are the nails?" And he says, "What's a nail?" And you're kind of looking like this. Are you joking? And you kind of snicker a little bit, and then you realize he really doesn't know what a nail is, and he's working in a hardware store at Home Depot. It shouldn't be surprising. It should be truly frightening. That we have stooped so low in our society that we cannot recognize the obvious. Well, and this is what we got. Now, according to Leandra Blade, school board member down there at Placentia Yorba Linda, their high school, Valencia, is getting threatened by the CIF, the governing body of sports, kids sports, school sports in California. Because they were going to say, hey, we're not playing against A.B. Hernandez, the male boy at Harupa Valley in volleyball, because they're starting the playoffs, first round. See, I've told not Harupa Valley, hey, get the boy off the girls' team, like Title IX and everything else. No, they're threatening Valencia. If you guys forfeit the game, we're going to bust your rear end and you won't even be eligible for the playoffs next year. We're going to punish you. We're going to punish the girls for not wanting to be endangered by having a boy in there. And like I said down at Riverside, with the doctor that's on there, he didn't refute it. You know, you could die from a basal skull fracture by getting hit with a volleyball. And a boy can hit one harder than a girl. So they're more susceptible. That's why we separate the sports. Again, it should not be surprising. 42% of Lay's potato chip eaters do not realize a potato chip is made from real potatoes. I hope we better turn this around. And fast. For a whole host of reasons. If you want to have any kind of life, especially if you're younger, if you want to have any sort of future, you better turn this stuff around. Some of the local stuff as we go. Fleeing DUI driver on a suspended license, allegedly intoxicated, cops say, attempts to flee from the Rancho Cucamonga cops. Well, they always get their men, or most of the time. This is a stunning story. Riverside Police Union employee accused of stealing from them again. It's reported in the Press Enterprise. Again. With the potato chip story, anything's possible. San Bernardino cops are going to hold some classes for women for self-defense, and the way things are going, you better take advantage of that, ladies. Crowd fight used to be called gang fights. I don't know, maybe it wasn't. First time I've heard of a crowd fight, but the Moval cops busted up a crowd fight, as they called it, discovered some weapons and things like that. So good job of that. Emma cop sweeping up the trash in Hemet, cleaning out the vagrants and that and endangering children. Get out the vote. No kings. Stop Gavin Newsom from rigging elections. Vote no, no, no on Prop 50. We've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get the job done, to push this thing over the finish line. We're even with Democrat turnout. They've got us almost 2-1. We got to pick up the pace. This is a special election. It's going to be low turnout. We turn out our voters, we can still defeat King Newsom, maybe derail this plot to get Padilla governor and him as senator as he plots his campaign for president in 28 and or 32. A lot of stuff on the plate. Got to roll to the Moreno Valley City Council meeting after the morning session at the county supervisors. So take it away, Sean.
All right, Roy, all clear. Well, you have fun out there.
Oh, we will. It'll be a short meeting. There's nothing on the agenda other than them having to show up.
Yeah, just when you think, there's people don't have, if you think the Trump derangement syndrome isn't it doesn't get any larger. Now I'm hearing people say, would you support a lawsuit to stop Trump from upgrading the White House?
Yes. Well,
What?
42% do not know. The
What?
Lay's potato chips are made out of potatoes. Of course they'll buy this crap.
What the? Oh my God, man! I swear to God, people are just fucking insane. I swear to God, man.
If they were insane, I think we'd be in better shape.
Well, that's true. That's true. I just don't think they have any minds left at all.
There you go.
All right, Roy. I'll talk
We'll
to you
see
in a
you.
couple days.
You got it.